Well, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hi, come on in and have a seat. Welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Mary Marie Shelton. I'm the community spiritual leader here at Golden Gate. We are a community that wants to deepen our relationship with Spirit and also become aware of the beliefs that are driving our lives so we can make any adjustments that we need to. So that's what we're doing here together. And as we do that and as we grow deeper in our relationship with Spirit, our lives become more fulfilling. Not necessarily easier, although we like that too, but more fulfilling. So this is a time in the service where we greet one another. So I want to invite you to do that now, to stand up, walk around, say hello, welcome people you haven't seen in a while, introduce yourselves, and those of you at home, go ahead and give yourselves a hug. We're glad you're here. We'll be right back with you in just a moment. All right. All right, so our wonderful music this morning is by Denise Rosier, and we haven't seen her in a little while, but Denise has the most beautiful voice, and she just shines with love and light. So we're going to enjoy her. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She is an award-winning singer-songwriter, producer, recording artist. Her inspirational albums have received 7 Positive Music Award nominations and 5 wins. She's also the first artist to have introduced New Thought music to the larger inspirational music community, winning 2 nominations for Best Contemporary Christian Gospel Album at the Independent Music Awards. She is also a staff writer for the Songs of Love Foundation, and it's an organization of songwriters that craft original songs for special needs and terminally ill children. So with that group, she has written over 300 songs for children and has performed those songs of love in English, Hindi, Chuukese, which is Micronesian, and Yamaha even profiled her use of their keyboards for doing good in the world. So please stand now and join me as we sing the opening song with Denise Rosier. The words will be on the screen.
Golden Gate CSL, it's Denise Rosier. Good morning. It is so great to be back with you again. As we get ready to move into a time of learning and celebrating the power and the beauty of our authentic selves, I just invite you to sing this song with me, celebrating the truth of who we are. I am goodness, grace beyond measure. I am peace, here and now. I am wholeness, thriving perfection. I am love, I am love, I am life, free and abundant. I am joy, awakened and wild. I am spirit, are goodness, grace beyond measure. We are peace, here and now. We are wholeness, thriving perfection. We are love. We are love. We are life, free and abundant. We are joy, awakened and wild. We are spirit, open and boundless. We are love. We are love. We are spirit, open and boundless. We are love. We are love.
You are love. And you too, you are love. Thank you. You may be seated. And take a moment now to go ahead and silence your cell phone so that we can prepare to turn within without being interrupted in the process of this celebration of spirit this morning. So I'm going to invite up Lori Greer, who is our morning prayer practitioner, to do that right now.
There is one life, and in that one life is all beauty, all joy, all love. The infinite presence reflecting itself through everything that we see, feel, touch, and know, through every experience and relationship. The one life is living itself in order to express more fully and experience itself through each one. I am one of those expressions, an expression of the divine with all of its beauty, all of its power, all of its intelligence and wisdom, lives and expresses through me, sometimes in ways I don't even recognize, and yet it is always the truth. And as I speak my word in the first person, I know the truth of it for each and every one. And so in this moment of recognition and awareness of my wholeness and perfection, as I recognize that everything in my life is on purpose, that every turn in the pathway is just leading me to the better and the more that is available to me. And so I call forth and claim an opening in mind that allows for an expanded awareness of that good, that allows for the imagination to run wild with delight and inspiration and creativity and prosperity, overflowing abundance. And I align in consciousness with that vibration, knowing that the more I maintain this awareness, the more I live from this place of knowing the truth, that more is demonstrated to me on a daily basis, every moment revealing greater good. And so knowing that this is true for all of us, I give thanks for the demonstration that comes forth as I claim for us that deepening into faith, that deepening into that knowing of ourselves as good, as God, as a divine expression of that one life that is love, that is God. So I give thanks and know that the only thing left for me to do is to let it go. I let it go, knowing the seed has been planted and that consciousness is already working on my word, because that's the law in action. And so I give thanks for knowing that this is the truth and for the demonstration that is right now being made manifest. And so I release and I let go and I let God do God's work. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lori.
I could wear a rainbow in the month of June. Put a quote on my car window about the good I wanna do. I could buy a poster praising everybody's worth. Take a picture by a waterfall and prove I care about the earth. To show I know what love means, that's who I could be. What love needs is my voice speaking from my truth. What love needs is showing up, knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is me. I could circle holy places to visit when I can. Pin a ribbon on my overcoat, raise another flag. I could cheer the loudest for someone else's work. Tell the youth to go forward and heal the world of hurt. To show I know how love moves, that's what I could do. What love needs is my voice speaking from my truth. What love needs is showing up, knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is me. We'll never find a brighter light than the one shining as our lives. When one of us stands, we all rise. What love needs is my voice speaking from my truth. What love needs is showing up, knowing what is mine to do. What love needs are hands and feet. What love needs is, what love needs is, what love needs is me. What love needs is me. What love needs is me.
I was really taken with that song. Yes, thank you, Denise. So that kind of fits right in with the theme for the year of living out loud, which is about not hiding our light away, but actually living as the authentic selves that we are, giving that gift back to the world. And so now we're in a new month, and this month, the month of March, our theme is letting the real me shine. And I love this little mischief face because, one of the things about little tiny people is there's never any question of suppressing themselves. They are fully themselves, without self-consciousness, without apology. They're just fully themselves. And then we kind of shape them from there. So sometimes because we've been shaped in such a way, it takes a while for us to come back to our original authentic self and begin to reclaim those bits of ourselves that have been tamed maybe a little too much in the process. So today we're talking about owning that self that we can be. In one place somebody said that imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but Ralph Waldo Emerson said imitation is suicide. I think the truth is probably somewhere in between. Like, when it comes to good topics for Sunday morning or swell jokes or great examples or stories, I like to steal from the best. That's my admiration of those people who are good speakers and have that good material that I've come across. But at the same time, what I recognize is that when you need to live in such a way as to make yourself appear to be something that you really aren't, it takes a lot of energy, creates a lot of stress, and also is just really hard to maintain and very difficult for a person to do. And I've watched people do that. I've done that in my own life. I've watched people do that, and I've seen the toll that it can take. Sometimes when we're so focused on what we want to bring forward, we sort of lose track of how we're coming across or what we're communicating. And this gal says, after a long week of teaching, I quickly wrote a note asking the school librarian to pull the books on our next health theme, teeth. And I hadn't realized the note's double meaning until my assistant pointed it out. The note I wrote said, teeth unit beginning on Monday. Would you be willing to pull all those you have? So when we are trying to communicate something to somebody, assuming they're on the same wavelength that we are, we may leave things out that don't make it clear. And we can do that when we're being our authentic self, because the other person will be able to ask or inquire without making us feel guilty or defensive. If we're trying to cover up some part of ourselves, that becomes much more difficult. So many people who have written spiritual things emphasize to us again and again the uniqueness of each one of us, the importance of our individual expression being felt in the world. Joel Goldsmith wrote in Realization of Oneness, the truth about you is that you are a child of God. God has expressed itself on earth individually as you. The life which is God is your individual life, and it is eternal and immortal. God is your very being, and even your body is the temple of the living God. So, when we're little kids and somebody says, don't get too big for your britches, or whatever it might be, or if you're some kind of an artist or performer and people say, oh, she believes her press clippings, it's a measure of people looking at your behavior and saying you're making more of yourself than is appropriate for what you have accomplished or done or who you are. However, maybe some of that self-confidence that we express is a part of being our authentic selves, not necessarily an expression of being self-involved and egotistical. Only we can tell that for sure, although, sometimes watching somebody else, you think, okay, well, fine. Nevertheless, when it comes to our expressions of individuality and uniqueness, We all have our own specific take on how to do that. When I was a minister in Huntington Beach and my son was a teenager, there was a kid in the youth group a year younger than he was, who started coming because his older brother came to youth group. Now, our youth group in Huntington Beach, Orange County, Huntington Beach, it's a wealthier, generally, community. But the kids that came to our youth group were not mostly the children of people in our spiritual community. They were kids from the neighborhoods that had heard about our youth group and came on Sunday. So some of them were kind of at-risk kids. Some of them had difficult home lives. And they were learning not only spirituality, but how to be themselves authentically and how to recognize what was appropriate when and how to accept people as they were. And one of the kids who came, because his older brother was there, was a year younger than my son Luke, and the first Sunday that he appeared on our patio on Sunday morning, after the service and the youth group meeting that morning, I saw him for the first time about as far away from me now as Stan and Mariana are, and he had a mohawk like this. It was about this high, and the ends of it were blue, and he was about 13, very skinny and nervous, very skinny and nervous. Now that kid came every single Sunday. As a high school student, he took foundations class from me. He even inspired other kids in the youth group to start taking foundations class. He became the youngest practitioner in the movement and is now co-minister at Mile High in Denver, Josh Reeves. So individuality and uniqueness, when they're made space for, when they're not criticized, when they're allowed to be explored and expressed, they evolve in incredibly beautiful ways. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "Incarnated within each one of us is not only a divine spark, not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but a unique presentation of the cosmic whole." Each one of us is a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. Never before or since we came into being has there been anyone like us, even an identical twin. My son at one time thought, and I must admit I had thought this too, that the way that DNA worked was if his dad took a DNA test and I took a DNA test and he got both of them and just split everything and assembled it, he'd have his. But that isn't how it works at all. Even kids in the same family, even identical twins, will have some things in their genetic makeup that are different. It's a different combination. So if Luke had brothers and sisters, which he doesn't, but if he did, and they all had this kind of, ancestry DNA test, each one of them would have a slightly different blend of ethnicity, not just half of dads and half of moms. So we are uniquely formulated even when the same raw materials have been assembled to create us. We're still absolutely unique in the world. And it's not only true of human beings. It's true of everything that lives, including plants. Even blades of grass are all unique, just like snowflakes or stones or grains of sand or stars. They're all unique. Now, what is that about? Why so much uniqueness? I mean, really, who would notice if the blades of grass were more or less the same, or if every 100th one was a repeat of something before? Who would know that? I am imagining that the feathers on every single bird, even the ones that are the same species, are different from each other, like our fingerprints, like our tongue prints, or our eye prints. Is that what you call them? Eye impressions, whatever they are, scans. They're all different. So Rumi said Christian, Jew, Muslim, shaman, Zoroastrian, stone, ground, mountain, river, each has a secret way of being with the mystery, unique and not to be judged. So this is us. This is what we are being. And I think that it's not a matter of recklessness or inattention or showing off, well, maybe a little bit, that created the universe as it is, where everything is individualized. But if you are an infinite being, infinitely creative, infinitely expressive, why would you do anything twice? Really? You wouldn't need to. There are just unlimited variations. So I think that this expression of all this uniqueness comes about because the presence, the infinite energy and intelligence, desires to be expressed. And it can't be fully expressed because it's infinite. So it just keeps expressing. And each time it cranks out a new one of us, we're completely different. We look like each other. Sometimes we are all the same human race, but we are not all the same. Even though, we strive to recognize our unity, our oneness, which is certainly there underneath all these individualized expressions. It's a mystery that is revealing the ultimate nature of the infinite, that nature that's in all of us. So we might say, well, so what? Why does that really matter if I'm unique or not, or if I'm just like everybody else? If you go to the airport, there are 1 million black suitcases. But if yours is a different color, you can find it right away. Or if it has a piece of colorful yarn tied to it or something else that makes it stand out, then it's easy to find. You can spot it when it's coming down the conveyor. That's a good reason to have one that's a different color, unless you don't want to draw attention to it for some reason. I recently read part of Prince Harry's book, Spare. And one of the things that he mentioned early on in the book, which was not something that ever really bothered him, is that as children, he and Wills were always referred to as the heir and the spare. The heir and the spare. The second one is the backup in case something happens to the first one. Now, it sounds like that's okay, just the way things were. That's how it was referred to. But when we think that we are a spare, that we are an extra, then it leaves us with a sense of being less than, of being minimized, of being not necessary, really, not necessarily as valued, not as cared about or important. And it leaves us with that feeling that maybe we don't really matter enough to be here. My mother, I was asking my mother once, she was one of 8 kids on a farm in Nebraska. And my youngest uncle was born quite a bit later than the other 7 kids. And he had a lot of trouble in his life. He wasn't a troublemaker, but he did go to war when he was very young, and he came back with PTSD and was an alcoholic and never had a happy life. He had a great sense of humor. He was a nice-looking man, but nothing ever really went right for him. And it seemed to me that he didn't think much of himself. And I said to her once, do you think that maybe by the time he was born, the parents didn't really want another kid? And my mother said, oh, I don't think they really wanted any of us after Laura. Now, my mother is the second oldest. Laura was the firstborn. My mother's impression in her family was that none of the rest of them were really wanted. That seems so sad to me, the idea that, well, they were stuck with us because, they kept getting pregnant, but they didn't really want us. So when we feel that way about ourselves, it seems as if we have nothing to contribute, we don't really matter, we prefer not to be noticed, and so on. So it leaves us feeling very lacking in self-esteem and self-worth. And when I was in graduate school, I was in a class with a very brilliant professor. This was psychology, graduate school. And I will never forget this. There was a student in the class who was probably in her early 30s. And the instructor said to her once, oh, I see what the problem is for you. You think you're special, but you're not. And I was stunned, being a religious science person, that somebody would say to another person, "You're not special." But then she went on to say that when she was in psychology graduate school, that a professor had pointed that out to her, and she became aware of how much she was just a person like everybody else, not set aside, nothing special, and it helped her to respond to her clients, recognizing that she was not better than them, she was not worse than them. I understood that, but I saw the look on that student's face in my class when she said, "You think you're special, but you're not." Because the truth is, she is special. She was special. She's absolutely the only one like her. She is special by definition. She's completely unique. Now, there is something about learning that we are not better or worse, that we are not that different from other human beings, that helps us to feel a part of the human family and community. And that's important because we want to experience belonging. We want to experience that we have a home, a place. At the same time, I think it's damaging to think that we aren't important, that we aren't absolutely needed and wanted. If you were superfluous in some way, you would not exist. I don't think that the universe is just willy-nilly about what is created. I think it's very specific. It wants this to be expressed, and that winds up as Sophie, or that winds up as Ellen, or that winds up as Anne, or me, or you. So special, unique individualizations, but that also means that we are the same in that we are all important, special, unique, needed, wanted. Not one of us is superfluous. And so we look around at the world at how many differences there are among us, and we think, surely we could have done without that one. We might have differences of opinion about who that one is. But most of us have some opinions that are like that, like we could have done without that. But could we? We don't know, see, what was brought into being, bless you, because of that particular one that actually was needed by us as a human family, as a community, for growth or awareness or forgiveness or something. Resilience, I don't know. Dr. Roger Teal, who's the former minister, now retired, of Mile High Church in Denver, wrote in his book, "This Life is Joy." Our greatest relationship lesson is to proclaim our shared essence and to become masterful at both celebrating uniqueness and honoring oneness. When we realize that we are much more than separate organisms, we're actually beings of light, each of us radiating a unique expression of universal light, we gain access again to our source of true power. This understanding takes us into a centered place where we can stand in our confidence, no matter what anybody else thinks, because we are valuable, we are wanted and needed by the creator of the universe, and that should be enough for anybody. So that is our essence, and it is important that we take hold of that, not necessarily that we choose to stand out like the hot pink umbrella, but that we recognize that we matter, and we treat ourselves as if we matter. Pablo Casals wrote, "Each second we live in a new and unique moment of the universe, a moment that never was before and will never be again." And what do we teach our children in school? We teach them that 2 and 2 make 4, that Paris is the capital of France. When will we also teach them what they are? We should say to each one of them, "Do you know what you are? You are a marvel. You are unique. In all of the world, there is no other child exactly like you. In the millions of years that have passed, there has never been another child like you. You may become a Shakespeare, a Michelangelo, a Beethoven. You have the capacity for anything. Yes, you are a marvel. And when you grow up, can you then harm another who is like you, a marvel? You must cherish one another. You must work. We must all work to make this world worthy of its children. So in the process of that, because we want to belong, we want to be a part of, we can sometimes try to make ourselves over into something that fits somewhere where it doesn't really feel comfortable, but that's what there is, and so we want to fit in there. High school is a good example of this. We want to feel included. We want to feel like we belong. We're probably at our most, well, maybe not, but at our most judgmental in our lives when we're in high school. And so the dividing lines between who's cool and who's a nerd or a geek or you name it, a jock, an egghead, whatever, the dividing lines are very fuzzy there. You can be in one day and out the next. And so we may in high school try on a lot of different personas and personalities to try and see where we're comfortable or where we fit. But just because we manage to fit someplace does not necessarily mean that we belong there or that it really is a good fit for us. So we desire to fit in. And we have to balance that desire to fit in with our desire to be ourselves, to be able to express who we really are, have people get us and actually accept us for who we are, not who we're imitating or who we're trying to be. Are you with me here? Is this making sense what I'm saying? Deepak Chopra says this in his book, Spirit Lessons. More than 250 types of cells go about their daily business. The 50 functions that a liver performs are totally unique, not overlapping with the tasks of muscle, kidney, heart, or brain cells. Yet it would be catastrophic if even one function of the kidney were compromised. As it divides into billions of progeny, the first fertilized cell in my mother's womb kept its link to the source. At the level of memory, I am still that first cell. That first cell. When the egg and the sperm came together. That marriage, that created the uniqueness of each human being. That coming together. So what we find out is that imitation is safe, or it can feel safe. But it ultimately is not fulfilling because there's a part of our uniqueness that's always pushed down into the background and shut up, you know? I'm sure some of you have had this experience in one way or another in your life. Anybody ever tell you you're too much, tone it down, you know, you're too loud, or, you know, why can't you be like your sister? She's outgoing. She's not so shy and quiet and stuck in the corner like a wallflower. Get out there. You know, I know two families, each of whom had a child around the same time, both boys. One couple were very extroverted, the other couple were very introverted, but their kids were exactly the opposite. And I think, you know, for the introverts, kid and parents, that's tough because those kids are not necessarily completely understood by their parents. And if they're the outgoing one and the parents aren't, then you've got parents that are constantly embarrassed by the behavior of this child who draws attention to them when they don't want to be drawn attention to. This was my experience as a kid. As you could guess, I'm not an introvert, but my mother was an introvert. And I was, I'm sure, a great trial for her in that way. Sue Merens wrote Transforming Anger into Action. Transforming Anger into Action. In that book, she said, each of us matters now. Just like in Denise's song where she said, "Love needs me." Each of us matters now. Any one of us could be the crucial person whose efforts shift the energy. By efforts, I mean those actions that suit our temperament, our range of talents and interests, and comport with our lifestyle. She says, Jung put a premium on individual uniqueness, and our taking effective actions must align with our individuation. See, we can't be as effective when we're pretending to be something that we're not. We can kind of be effective, but think how much more effective we would be if we were speaking with our own voice, if we were willing to just, without defensiveness, just say what we thought, and then stay in neutral and let other people have their reactions or responses to what we've said. I want to share a story with you about wanting to fit in and wanting to belong, and how that evolved in this situation. At a fundraising dinner for a school that serves children with learning disabilities, the father of one of the students delivered a speech that will never be forgotten by all who attended. After extolling the school and its dedicated staff, he offered a question. When not interfered with by outside influences, everything nature does is done with perfection. Yet my son, Shay, cannot learn things as other children do. He cannot understand things as other children do. Where is the natural order of things in my son? The audience was stilled by the question. The father continued, I believe that when a child like Shay, who was mentally and physically disabled, comes into the world, an opportunity to realize true human nature presents itself, and it comes in the way that other people treat that child. And then Shay's father told the following story. Shay and I had walked past a park where some boys Shay knew were playing baseball. Shay asked, do you think they'll let me play? I knew that most of the boys wouldn't want someone like Shay on their team. But as a father, I also understood that if my son were allowed to play, it would give him a much-needed sense of belonging and some confidence to be accepted by others in spite of his handicaps. I approached one of the boys on the field and asked, not expecting much, if Shay could play. The boy looked around for guidance and then said, we're losing by 6 runs and the game is in the 8th inning. I guess he can be on our team and we'll try to put him into bat in the 9th inning. Shay struggled over to the team's bench and with a broad smile put on a team shirt. I watched with a small tear in my eye and warmth in my heart. The boys saw my joy at my son being accepted. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Shay's team scored a few runs, but it was still behind by 3. In the top of the 9th inning, Shay put on a glove and played in right field. Even though no hits came his way, he was obviously ecstatic just to be in the game and on the field, grinning from ear to ear as I waved to him from the stands. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Shay's team scored again. Now, with 2 outs and bases loaded, the potential winning run was on base, and Shay was scheduled to be next at bat. At this juncture, do they let Shay bat and give away their chance to win the game? Surprisingly, Shay was given the bat. Everyone knew that a hit was all but impossible because Shay didn't even know how to hold the bat properly, let alone connect with the ball. However, as Shay stepped up to the plate, the pitcher, recognizing that the other team was putting winning aside for this moment in Shay's life, moved in a few steps to lob the ball softly so Shay could at least make contact. The first pitch came, and Shay swung clumsily and missed. The pitcher again took a few steps forward to toss the ball softly toward Shay. As the pitch came in, Shay swung at the ball and hit a slow ground ball right back to the pitcher. The game would now be over. The pitcher picked up the soft grounder and could have easily thrown the ball to the first baseman. Shay would have been out, and that would have been the end of the game. Instead, the pitcher threw the ball right over the first baseman's head, out of reach of all his teammates. And everyone from the stands and both teams started yelling, "Shay, run to first! Run to first!" Never in his life had Shay even run that far, but he made it to first base. He scampered down the baseline, wide-eyed and startled. Everyone yelled, "Run to second, Shay, run to second!" Catching his breath, Shay awkwardly ran towards second, gleaming and struggling to make it to the base. By the time Shay rounded towards second base, the right fielder had the ball. The smallest guy on their team, who now had his first chance to be the hero for his team. He could have thrown the ball to the second baseman for the tag, but he understood the pitcher's intentions, so he too intentionally threw the ball high and far over the third baseman's head. Shay ran toward third base deliriously as the runners ahead of him circled the bases toward home, and all of them were screaming, "Shay, Shay, Shay, all the way, Shay!" Shay reached third base because the opposing shortstop ran to help him by turning him in the direction of third base and shouted, "Run to third, Shay, run to third." As Shay rounded third, the boys from both teams and the spectators were on their feet, screaming, "Shay, run home! Run home!" Shay ran to home, stepped on the plate, and was cheered as the hero who hit the grand slam and won the game for his team. That day, the father said softly, the boys from both teams helped bring a piece of true love and humanity into this world. Shay didn't make it to another summer. He died that winter, having never forgotten being the hero and making me so happy, and coming home and seeing his mother tearfully embrace her little hero of the day. So, whose eyes are we looking through when we see each other in the world? If we are able to just tune to another channel, maybe we can look through those eyes of love and see beyond the appearance of who any one of us is to the unique, individualized expression of the divine that every one of us is. Namaste. Thank you. So let's turn within now and anchor this in our hearts. Because there is only one infinite presence, a presence of love and light, of infinite creativity and joy. It is expressed and is in everything it creates, without exception. And so everything, every expression, everything that could possibly come into being as it does so is chosen, wanted, unique and needed, individual, and yet part of the whole of creation, absolutely necessary for the universe, the one song. And that includes me. It includes every one of us. And so I speak this word for us now, that our hearts and minds may relax, release fear, and soften as we open to the truth of our own special uniqueness. We also open to the truth of that in each one, not just as an idea, but as a felt reality inside us. And this awareness of the importance of our very being allows us to step with confidence into the world to authentically be who we are and to receive others with this same acceptance and open-heartedness. And as we do this, fear begins to be dismantled and dissolved. As we do this, connections are made across boundaries, among people, between children, within nations and neighborhoods and schools, within homes and families, within ethnicities and religions and politics. The artificial divisions dissolve and fall away into the shadows that they always were, as the truth is seen, and as we see it, as we choose to see it, so we also believe it. And as we choose to believe it, so we see it. We open our belief to this wholeness, to this uniqueness, to this specialness, to this love of all that is. And we look through our belief to all that we see, all that we hear, all that we feel, with gratitude. We let this word go into the creative law of mind and spirit with peace and gratitude, knowing that it is the truth. It always has been the truth. And we allow that truth to be known and felt, expressed, and to exist as us in fullness. We let it go into the law and we let it be as it always has been. And together we say, and so it is. Yes. Please stand and join me for the morning's affirmation. Together. I choose to honor the me God created me to be. I meet each moment authentically. I am not limited by judgments or fear. I know I am worthy just as I am. Yes, you may be seated. You know, as we prepare for our offering, I'm going to invite the ushers to come forward. I'm just awestruck by the wonder of how things are coming to be for us as this small congregation of people. We received again this past week an unexpected $10,000 donation. It is the most wonderful thing, the most wonderful expression of spirit that generosity is manifesting for us. And it is the consciousness of our gratitude that brings that forward. So I invite you to think about who taught you how to give? Who taught you how to spread the abundance that is yours, to do good in the world, to lift each other up? As we prepare to receive our offering today with such gratitude for this amazing, wonderful gift, we also want to bless the offering that we're giving right here and the offering that we have been giving, like through our automatic donations or whatever. If you want to text this morning an offering, you should be able to do that today. I apologize that we could not get online in here last week, but it's working today. So you can text to the number on the screen if you want to donate that way, or certainly in any of the myriad ways we have of giving. But let's right now bless the offering. And so even if you've already given yours for this month, we are blessing the offering in the room just as we bless what we give ourselves here and otherwise as we say this together. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Please go ahead.
I've heard it said that we're small and alone on our path. but my mind is set on a life greater than that. And my heart is open wide. My heart will be open wide. All that's good that flows from above and below, I am that. I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold, I am that. I am that. All that's good. All that's good. Some say the answers I seek are found on my knees, but I listen inside to the whisper, I'm all that I need. And my heart is open wide. My heart will be open wide. All that's good that flows from above and below, I am that. I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold, I am that. I am that. All that's good. Oh, all is for me. Oh, I am worthy. I am worthy. Oh, all is for me. Oh, I am worthy. I am worthy. All that's good that flows from above and below, I am that. I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold, I am that. I am that. All that's good that flows from above and below, I am that. I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold, I am that. I am that. All that's good. All that's good. All that's good. You and me.
So now all of us together on behalf of Golden Gate do accept this offering. And we send it out into the world to hopefully spread the light that allows people to take the bushel basket off of themselves and shine their own authentic light and beauty. And so it is. Thank you, Dave. And I do want to tell you that last week when we did that second offering for Golden Path of Peace for the soldiers, for helmets and for other things, that we brought in this room $690. So that's 2 more helmets plus a third of another one. And I know we have a couple of people who also donated online through Golden Path of Peace through their website. So thank you for that. Barbara was thrilled. She said it was a godsend. So I'm just delighted that I can report that to you, that we did that last week. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity. That was just fabulous. Now, if you're with us for the very first time this morning, I'm going to direct you back to the welcome table back here where all the information is available for you to pick up and take, including a welcome packet with the blue welcome card in it. Fill this out and turn it in at the back table, and Amanda will give you a little book as our thank you gift to you for being here this morning and our invitation to you to be back with us. And we hope you'll do that often. I want to thank everyone this morning who's been in service, set everything up, and did all that. Now, I especially want to draw your attention to Karen Frost's altar this morning because although there are pictures up here of her family, there are also pictures of our family, a couple of them. So if you have a look up here, you might see somebody that you know. So make sure that you check out this lovely spring altar of joy before you go home today. And thank you, Karen, for that. Let's give a hand to everybody who's involved this morning. Aha! How many of you have a birthday in March? Stand up if your birthday is in March. Really? We have like 6 practitioners whose birthday is in March, but apparently Joyce is the only one here today. So we're singing happy birthday to Joyce. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joyce. Happy birthday to you. Yay, for all of our March people. I also want to remind you that this coming Thursday is the Extra Edge with Reverend Sarah Hargrave. Yes, Sarah? Oh, great. So the conversation for Extra Edge this month is Celebrate Your Uniqueness. And that will be Thursday morning on Zoom from 8 to 9:30. And if you just go to our website calendar and look up Thursday's date, you can click on that event and it will give you the place to click to join Zoom to participate with Reverend Sarah there. Also, you know, I've been telling you, next month is our 40th, our Ruby anniversary for Golden Gate. And we are encouraging people to send pictures. Send pictures, send pictures. We will return them to you if they're physical pictures. And also, we have set up something on Tribute now, where anybody that has been part of Golden Gate at any time but cannot be here for our celebrations and would like to send a congratulatory little video, like 2 minutes or something, we would love to get those. And so take a picture of this or write it down. This is the website, tribute.co/golden-gate-center-4-spiritual-living-26205. Not, that's 205, not 205 / after that. And that will take them right to the little website. They're going to assemble all these little videos for us. So we want to encourage people who would like to share a special memory or congratulate us to do that. So please let people know that Tribute has this going on for us now. Also, in addition to Easter, which is the 9th of April, you want to save the 7th Friday night because we're having a very special anniversary concert at Four Points Sheraton in San Rafael with Gary Lynn Floyd and Karen Drucker. And that will be followed by a dessert and champagne reception. So we're going to have a wonderful time that night as the kind of opening festivities for our anniversary weekend. And tickets are going on sale this month. We almost have that all ready for you where you can order your tickets online and it'll keep track of them and let us know how many you bought and so on and so forth. So keep a lookout for that. I'll be announcing that link soon and you'll see it in the Tuesday email as well. I want to remind you that we do have a Wednesday night meditation, except this week. I'm actually going to be at a concert Wednesday night this week, and so there will not be a Wednesday night meditation this week. So don't go. But every other Wednesday at 7:15, we do a Wednesday night meditation for about an hour. And each week, the type that we do is varied. So when we come back, not this week, but next week on Wednesday, it'll be a visioning evening. So I will let you know that again, but I encourage you to come. Also want you to put it on your calendar that at the last Sunday of this month, the 26th, will be our annual membership meeting. And everyone is welcome. We'll have a little nosh for people who are staying for the meeting. Only members of record can vote, but everyone is welcome to be here for all the info and the reports. It's kind of a state of the church sort of day with food. So come, enjoy, schmooze, and learn what's up and what's been going on. And that's it for the morning announcements. I believe that there is a women's drumming circle actually coming up on the 15th of this month. Is that right? Please talk to one of these two up here if you want more information. Lori will be the person to talk to about that. She's up here up front. All right. So, practitioners, would you please stand and surround the room? You'll recognize our practitioners. They're the ones with the white stoles usually. And the two that are at the table this morning will be available for prayer with you immediately after the service. There's also a prayer box there, and we have a space under the resources tab, I believe, on our website in case you want to put in a prayer request right from the website. So we're going to do the closing today together as a chamber of prayer, which means we all pray. And you, who are in the middle, let the prayer come in. Just let it wash over you and come in as all these prayers surround you now. I know there's one presence, and it's me, and it's all of you. And so it is. Please stand and join us for the benediction and the closing song. As we say together, I now walk, so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally. And so it is. And now the closing song with Denise. We have words and she leads us through it, so there's no excuse.
Well, all right, my friends at Golden Gate CSL, we are ending this morning together, and I just want to thank you for having me. It has been such a blessing to be here to lift you up with my songs and to lift you up in all of the goodness that you are. And so blessings on you as you head out into your week. Stand in your truth and in your strength. And just know what a beautiful, powerful being you are, and celebrate that. And I just want to invite you right now. We're going to sing a song together. We probably have sung it together before, but it is sort of my mantra for each day. It's called Joy in My Day. And the words are going to be right there on the screen for you, I'm sure. Love in the words I say. Love in the words I say. Peace in the world I make. Peace in the world I make. God in every breath I take. God in every breath I take. Joy in my day. Joy in my day. Love in the words I say. Love in the words I say. Peace in the world I make. Peace in the world I make. God in every breath I take. God in every breath I take. Joy in my day. Joy in my day. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. One more time. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. Love in the words I say. Peace in the world I make. Peace in the world I make. God in every breath I take. God in every breath I take. Joy in my day. Joy in my day. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. Bless you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.